nhớ trong sai trong nhà gì cái đó là cha thế trong phong yêu chúa tù nó cũng yêu bỏ đi ba nhau mong trên xí lên nô nó là cũng tôi biếtเขาxử nhớ cho họ luôn trong vô số nó lúc cùng họ cũng tu trò lầu mong hồi đó là cũng tôi chạm ý lúc bắt xuống thế là cũng tôi chờ cho nó chứ nhưng họ nó tôi chỉ thả biết khi cho hay là giờ trong phủ khán xe là giờ tu chính sự ai tôi cho đó hồi nó là ý giờ mua xí lên rồi là giờ ba đi trả cóที่อ้อจะชิมว่าซีรีส์นั้น我知道要被审没来搞了呢แล้วยังบ้าที่ถ่ายแล้วตัวแข่งลิจ่ายังเขาเราตอนจีกูจะไปไม่ใช่รู้ตรงชิตานู่นเนาะ
nhớ rằng để nó bây giờ bây giờ nó sử dụng cho chế độ khổng hậu của tổ chức Wisconsin Hong Lao Veteran of American Incorporation nu nó Syria nu Saturday nu Orlando nu tiền nên gọi gì xong ở trên gọi trâu nu xưa này yêu cho cầu mong sinh gió nhau tròn đồng mà tận khâu đi sang Wisconsin á và nu nó bây tuần để nó chưa sang chập lời cho sự là cái này giờ bây giờ của tổ chức nhau họ cùng họ thì dùng xe và chạy người nhà bây tụ chỉ số lượng lo nhau mà tận khâu thì người nhà tụ cho nó tụ người nhà bây tụ senator nhau là state dùng xe tôi thank you you come in on telephone with me us lúc nào người tôi lấy tôi áp dụng thế tôi thả cho thì bây giờ trả bây giờ chính trai nó lúc họ phía thì tia lúc của tôn ra có gì mà xích thả mình chỉ lỡ qua ít lúc rồi cho mình cả đi cho lử hai này để qua tia chỉ nhau ở bên cho có lúc chờ tia bên trong hông tia vì tia lúc xưa nó là bên cho nên cũng trâu mình hàng tàu cơ tia người chỉ cho ai nó cũng thọ bên cho nên chống cự của tia nó chỉ có thể bỏ trong tia ya u đi lâu đi nó chỉ bây giờ là trả lu trong sĩ thả lúc nào chân nữa thì có này họ chỉnh chân hàng lúc chạy nó vậy lúc chạy ở đó bây giờ này nó chỉ cả bự chỉ cho ra tại cho nên bỏ ra cho trong sao không cho thì bảo tê là nên nó cho thì bây giờ là sai chỉ giờ tụi chúng một bọn này nhiều họ cho cha thì chỉ tụi một bọn này nhiều khó nhất thế chỉ nó giá ta là nữa họ mua lo một tụi mình chỉ giờ nó chưa chơi cho nó xa cho cá nó chỉ qua rồi bây giờเป็นห่วงเลยbọn nàyไม่ยุ่งรุ่นนั้นเนี่ยที่น่ะที่ตัวชวนเนี่ยชวนจีโร่เนี่ยจีโร่รอเลยจีปอยอยู่ในจ่าเลยจงตัวหัวกูที่จีปากายอยู่ราเจอนะนู่นน่ะไปที่เราใช้ไปของตัวเจอไปที่เราจะรู้ผสมน่ะเจอเลยจะหน่อยจะชื้อตัวที่แล้วตัวถามไม่ใช่เราไปก็คือปริญญาตัวมุดไทยมันจีจอที่ก็ใช่เราต้องสนใจอยากตื่นที่สนใจอยากตื่นที่สนใจน่ะสนใจที่นั่นbây giờ cháu cũng tôi thọ u bây giờ cho lấy cho chị thấy chuyện nó sẽ nó nhau của cháu cho yên thế sự tua sản tử tua cháu sẽ được tôi cháu thấy chuyện nó tất là phần kia cháu nó cho chú lấy thành nhà phim cho ta là chùa bây giờ tua là cho nên cho chị là nó mừng mỏ cho nó sạch không tao lấy của mỏ hư là cho chạy cho bây giờ lấy cho nên cho chị cháu bây giờ cho này bây giờ chuyện nó bây giờ chỉ hay đã chỉ cho là bây giờ thọ cả là tên nào tên chỉ là lúa bê thì tụ thọ bây giờ chỉ hay nè thế thì tụ chỉ thọ là thọ cả là lúa bê thì người là cho cái chân cái giò thế này cả bây giờ nên họ thay như nhiều xe thế cả xe nên sẽ là nhưng mà cả xe lúa mình chỉ là thả là do cả cứ bao nhiêu cái mốc cờ mình chỉ thế người mốc trò rồi nên sẽ sai thì lại tua này là hay trả được bê thì khó tồn tại nhau từ khó chỉ tồn tại nhau từ thì chỉ lúc sớm nó mà hai chỗ hai cổ hai cha là sớm là tôi sửa xì là thế này bây giờ đó nó tôi nhớ tôi lúc thế chuyện nó lúc một tay chạy dọn trong thì bây khử một tay chạy bây giờ là nó tôi nhớ tôi là xưa
nhớ trong sân giáo đó nên从那时候读 good morning bây lúc trong sĩ thảo đó nó giờ lúc trong chỉnh kiến cương cầu đi bây một cho nó chưa bị cả cho nó cho bây giờ mong họ lúc giờ lần đầu bây giờ cũng tôi thì à sau đó cũng tôi nó tới chỉ gì sĩ thả bây giờ nó là để cho thời cho họ sẽ hỗ trợ cho thời cho city mayor city state representative, city state senator, thì county administrator, lợi cho nó vậy cho nên chuyện kinh nhau bị lúc rồi nó, để bây giờ nó lo là lợi kia, hay cho là tây cái cũng cho tại sao nó thông qua United States, hay cho ICE Immigration Custom Enforcement, bây giờ lợi thả thì biến chỉ cho nhau là ba ICE nó tuần gì hậu bây lúc rồi cho chạy nó cũng như là bây một xí đi cho nó bây nó là lợi lúc nó nè chỉ họ lại cả lúc nó bây giờ chúng mua chơi rồi đào là bây cũng mua mình chỉ theo thì chắc là chỉ bây giờ nó như là số bắt thàn cũng tốt rồi là hay luôn thôi cái mua nó chỉ giờ bây giờ nó chuẩn bị cả là thế nào tất cả bây giờ nó chuẩn bị cả hay luôn ta nó chỉ nếu mua lúa chỉ nông là bây giờ họ nông thế chỉ thôi họ cái lúa nông đó là chỉ bây sầu thì bây giờ trong市场lúc nào là thế nào họ thâu lên đó chỉ bây lúc xưa chỉ bây cú yo我下来下到的叫那准备干的了股慢慢了考bây cú还得搞么子一梦呢但是rõ了股么呢但是bây一起啥个木头了chỉ cho cha nhiều bây nông là đấy ạ lúc cha nhiều bây question là chỉ bây cú啥个bây nông下来下到诶超么可能问题thế này chính ý lòng này sẽ được thế State leaders and community leaders, welcome for being at today's meeting. Today's meeting is very important for the Hmong community. As you know, there's been many ICE activities throughout the nation. We've heard some here in the Wausau area, but most of it where our big Hmong community resides, which is in the Twin Cities, Minneapolis and St. Paul, Minnesota. It's been instilling a lot of fears to our Hmong community members here in Marathon County. It's instilled a lot of fear in them because of what they see on the news happening to our friends in the Twin Cities. They're asking themselves, hey, that could be us. So today's purpose, and very important, is to hear from you directly, our county and our state leaders, on how we as a Hmong community can live in this community with no fear, on how instead of working against ICE or working against government officials, how we can actually work together in accommodating their needs, but as well as living with no fear in our own homes, at our own workplaces, and our family gatherings. So I'm just gonna consider you all as our leaders this morning, our county officials and our city officials and state leaders. I'm just going to refer to you by leaders that we like to hear from you as leaders on the ICE activities, and if there's anything we should know or what we can do and how we can live with no fear in our own community. So without further ado, I'm going to bring up the president of the Wisconsin Lao Veterans of America to welcome, and then afterwards I will be inviting the leaders to come and speak. So first up here we have Wisconsin Lao Veterans of America. Please welcome Nyob Lub Zos. Nyob Lub Zos.
Good morning. I would like to welcome community leader among Lao veterans of America and all honored guests. My name is Lieutenant Nyob Lub Zos, President of the Wisconsin Hmong Lao Veterans of American Incorporation. I am pleased to have present today Marathon County Administrator, Land Lawyer, Wausau Mayor Danny Dunn, Marathon County Chief Sheriff, Check Barons, State Representative Pat Snyder, State Senator Corinne Thompson, and Tony Gazan. Our special meeting today is here from we would like to hear from this leader and the president of immigration, custom enforcement in our community, and how we can reason in this community without fear. We have here and see the detainment of the Hmong friends, some who are U.S. citizens in Minneapolis, Minnesota, and another part of the nation. In the arrest of the Hmong people has brought great concerns to residents in Mountain County or Wisconsin and other parts. We'd like to hear from you today. As even in our homes, workplace, and community even. Yeah, I personally would like to thank you for my great honor friends from the state and Mountain County and city and sharing in Mountain County here today. Very important for our Hmong Lao veteran, the elder people who are very concerned right now about the ICE to arrest our people and sending back to Laos. They sending back to Laos many people. They don't know how to speak Laos. They don't know go to work in Laos, and that's a real hard for our people. So we would like to hear from you guys. How can we adjust ourselves in this country for safety and good American citizen in this country? Yeah, so my conclusions, I would like to thank you for the United States, local, state, federal government to consider bring our veterans and Hmong people and Laos people come to this country, settlement this country 50 years ago. Yeah, thank you very much for the government. We right now, so we little concerned about that. I hope today we will hear something good news from you. And thank you very much. God bless American. Thank you.
Thank you, Rooj Sab Laj, President of Wisconsin Hmong Lao Veterans of America. Next up here, we'd like to invite Marathon County Administrator. He's a leader of our county. We are pleased to have him here with us this morning. Please welcome Lance Leonard.
Good morning, everyone. I want to begin by saying thank you. Thank you for the opportunity to be here today, but I know there's also a lot of veterans in the room, and first and foremost, I want to begin by saying thank you for your service in support of the United States. I can appreciate the concern that Shua expressed and that Isaac expressed earlier. It's a pleasure to be here first and foremost to reinforce that the Hmong community, the individuals within this room and the broader community, you are our friends, our neighbors, you're our family, and we can appreciate the concerns that you have, and we appreciate the opportunity to be here to do what we can to alleviate to the extent we can some of the concerns that you have. I know myself, along with Mayor Dinny, Sheriff Billup, Representative Snyder, and Senator Tomczyk feel that opportunity, we greatly appreciate it. So Sheriff Billup was probably going to give you more of the information relative to the law enforcement perspective and what local law enforcement is doing, or perhaps more importantly, what it's really not doing with respect to immigration enforcement out in the community and how immigration law is enforced locally. So I won't spend my time speaking about that other than, again, to reinforce and reaffirm the community that Marathon County government has, commitment to the community, the Hmong community. You've been a vital part of our community for the Wausau and Marathon County community for more than 50 years. Again, you are our neighbors, you're our friends, our family. I'm committed to keeping the open communication and dialogue that I think has really exemplified our relationship and that commitment moving forward. So if you do have any questions or any concerns, feel free to reach out to myself personally, and I'll do what I can to get you that information. And again, please, if nothing else, I hope today reinforces that at the local level, the city of Wausau, Marathon County, and certainly at the state level with Representative Snyder and Senator Tomczyk here, that we do certainly value and appreciate the Hmong community, and we want to do, again, what we can to alleviate those concerns, because as Nyoshua mentioned, we certainly appreciate and value that everyone in our community should feel comfortable to do the things that we all value doing within our community: going to church, going to the market, going to work, and doing that with a sense of certainly freedom and respect throughout the community. So I don't have any more comments than that. I just again want to say thank you for the opportunity to be here, and I'm happy to answer any questions you might have. With that, I'll turn it back over to Isaac. Thanks.
Thank you, Lance. Thank you very much. The county administrator no nuku dia brachi la nuku yondai pe dia e wa pe tong ka ke pa ri ja la ho ru no tao dia mu jon no tao na ki the county administrator nuku tao hai ni no pe. Thank you, Lance. Tokana mo pe no la no to Wausau mayor na Wausau mayor. Next up here, I'd like to invite Wausau Mayor Doug Denny.
Thank you, Isaac. Thank you, Nyoshua. Honor to be here today. Nyosham, Sumshia. That's the best I can do on that. I'm honored to be here to support what I consider brothers in arms, fellow military members. And I've had an honor as mayor to attend a lot of your functions. Most recently, I remember attending the 50-year anniversary at the High Grounds, the celebration in Neilsville, where we had the son of General Vang Pao there to lead the ceremonies. That represents 50 years from the end of the war. 50 years that you, this community, came to Wausau and the Wausau area and integrated into our community. It's 50 years of assimilation and contributions to our community. You make up, the Hmong population is roughly 12% of our population here. You make a difference. When I attend Hmong Lao veteran funerals, I frequently you see the American flag draped casket. It's an indicator and a reminder that you were American soldiers before you were Americans. It's a great and glorious day to be here in Wausau, and it's a greater and glorious day to be here and have our Hmong community here with us. As Mr. Leonard indicated, we're open for communication. My door is always open. Now Shua visits. He knows where the coffee is. He knows where the ginseng tea is. So that door is open to you as well. If you need to contact me, you can come to my office. You can contact Nyoshua. He knows where to get me. So thanks you again, and if you have any questions, we'll be here for that, and I really do appreciate it. It's a great and glorious day to be in Wausau. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Nếu cô hãy giả thì ô tô Mayor nhớ hậu Wausau nó chỉ nếu lúc họ trông là nếu khi plot đã đọc bé nữa nè, nếu mà đã chỉ là bé một chút nữa là tàu. Next up, we like to invite the Sheriff, Marathon County Sheriff. Please welcome Chad Billum.
Thank you, Isaac, and thank you again, Nashua, for the invitation to be here today. You're welcome. I want to the best of my ability, reassure each and every one of you, and then ask that you do me a favor and take this message back to your family, your friends, your neighbors. And that you understand that your local sheriff's office, your local police department, whether it's the City of Wausau Police Department, the Mountain Bay Police Department in Schofield and Weston, Cronenwetter, Mosinee, Abbotsford, I don't care where you live in Marathon County. We are here to serve you, to protect you, and ensure that not only are you safe, but that your rights are protected. Now, it's important to understand that local law enforcement, those of us that wear the uniform, whether it's a police uniform or a sheriff's uniform, we do not enforce immigration law. That is not our job. We actually have policies and laws that limit our ability to do anything like that. We cannot come, and if you're ever stopped by an officer, a police officer from Wausau or a sheriff's deputy from the sheriff's office, we will never ask you to show proof of citizenship. You are us, and we are you. We are residents of Marathon County, we are residents of the United States. And to the best of my ability, I want to assure you that you are safe, your family is safe, you should not live in fear to go to church or go to market, visit with family and friends, attend a funeral. These are all things that you can do. You are American citizens. You don't have to live in fear of that. Now, where local law enforcement sometimes does intersect with immigration law is when someone commits a crime. So if someone goes out and hurts someone or breaks a serious law and comes to jail, and through that investigation they are found to not be in the country legally, there will be a time where we will have that intersect, but not on the street. None of us are coming to your home. We're not coming to your business. We're not coming to your church. That will not happen. And people often ask, well, how many times, Chad, would that happen in the jail? And I'm here to tell you very, very, very infrequently. It doesn't happen often. As a matter of fact, in 2025, of the over 3,400 people that came to our jail, only 21 people had some sort of a connection with immigration officials. That's 0.004% of the time. So the likelihood of there being a problem is very low. So I'm here today to tell you, and then to as best as I can reassure you, that you have nothing to worry about. And I know that's really easy for me to stand up here and say, especially when we watch the news or we look at social media or we talk to people that are providing us with information. It's very hard for some folks to go, well, what's true? What is real? And I'm just here to tell you that you have nothing to fear. Here in Marathon County, you are safe, and we will always look out for you as fellow citizens and residents of this county. Now, if you run into issues or you have questions or you have concerns, I do the same thing that's already been referenced here. My door is open to Nashua. He came and visited me a few weeks ago. I visit regularly with Biva and her at the Hmong American Center. I have regular contact with Yilang Zhang. I extend that exact same offer to each one of you, that if you have a question or a concern, please reach out to me, and I will do my best to help with that. When everything was really, really hectic here a few weeks back, and there was a belief that there were immigration officials in Marathon County, I answered every one of those phone calls and calls for concern. And I investigated every single one of those calls and questions of concern. And I'm here to report that at no time were immigration officials in Marathon County. They haven't been for months. Now, they may pass through our county, they may stop at our jail occasionally, but they are not here working in Marathon County right now. That doesn't mean that they can't come. That doesn't mean that I won't know and they'll be here. That can happen. And it may happen that they may tell me they're coming because there's someone that's dangerous that they're looking for. That can't happen. I want to be honest and transparent with you about that. But I'm here to reassure you that that is not a common practice. It hasn't happened in almost a year. So you have nothing to fear. At the same time, I don't want you to think that in some way that I'm misleading or telling you that something can't happen. I'm just here to tell you that there is no reason for that to occur here unless someone brings it here. So please go back to your family, your friends, your loved ones, your neighbors, and reassure them. I'm hoping, like I've reassured you today, that you can live freely here in Marathon County and not have to worry about being removed from this community. I'm going to stick around for a while today, and if there's any questions or you have concerns, I ask you to come and speak with me, and I'm happy to address those. Thank you.
Chad, you brought us something I just want to ask really quick. So, and correct me if I'm wrong, you're saying there's been no ICE activity in the Marathon County since all this chaos? No ICE activity. Okay. All right. We may have seen them pass through, stop at the jail, blah, 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 but no actual ICE arrests. Everything we're seeing on TV.
Now, can I say one thing? We are coming into campaign season. When political candidates come to Marathon County, they come with an entourage. And they oftentimes come in there'll be police vehicles, there'll be a black SUV with the windows tinted. That could be a political candidate. And we've had a number of times where people have reported seeing vehicles like that, and it's actually been somebody running for governor or Senate or Congress. So please know that you'll see things that are concerning, and then I'll do my best to go and figure out what that is in order to explain it. So when people see that, all of a sudden they fear something, and it has not been true.
Thank you, Sheriff. Thank you very much. Mucho dao. Nuku hai ro be chong mong hai de ko be yan nei san sa de be za che de be xie lo mo ra chi lo ku yo mo ne nya dai da e ni lu ko tong yo ki plo ro be thia yo thong nei po le de neng wo yo ice de neng la ji yo ke chop plau na ke chop plau de nei po sheriff de nei po jo ice okay na ji yo i tu neng wo chop plau lo na mà nên để bỏ tiền để sử dụng yêu cầu đó là chỉ chọc lo gì có những số nhiều tiền dễ đủ tiền này. Next up, we want to bring our good friend, our state representative. We've seen him many times, and we consider him a good friend. Please welcome our good friend, Pat Schneider.
Thank you, Isaac, and good morning. Good morning to you all. It's good to see you guys. And I guess we'll be seeing some of you next week too in honoring one of the great veterans that have passed. But first and foremost, you know, I got really involved in the Hmong community and the Hmong veterans back when I was still started to work for Congressman Duffy at the time. And got to know Neshua and others, and then won an election and worked closely with then Senator Petrusky, who was a tremendous friend as well to the Hmong community. So you know that the efforts that we were able to do, and now with Senator Tomchak, you know, to make sure that the Hmong Veterans Day is remembered, to make sure that the story of the Hmong are taught in schools. And I think that's important for the general public as well, to realize the sacrifice that you made. Now, I know this is some scary information. I think Minneapolis I don't think it was a normal situation. I think a lot of activity and emotion and everything got involved in that. It could have been handled better by both sides. I always thought that part of this, and correct me if I'm wrong though, since you came to America, you were naturalized as citizens. So you're here, you're part of our great nation, and I know that you kind of look back to your time serving and fighting, and your family's remembering once the war was over and the Americans left, you were hunted in the jungles of Laos. So I'm sure that memory kind of sticks in the back of your mind a little bit, thinking like, oh, are we going through this again with ICE? Social media can be a gasoline on a little rumor, and then it explodes, and everyone is kind of like, if you're in a chain of people and you tell someone next a phrase, and by the time it gets around, the phrase has changed. That's something similar when we hear about, ICE here and there, and it just spreads like wildfire. I think Sheriff Billup did a tremendous job of explaining that he's been tremendous since, geez, I've known him. I mean, I went on a ride-along with one of his deputies, and we pulled someone over who happened to be from Mexico, and the lady had a Mexico driver's license, so he, gave her a warning. Someone else had to come in and get the car. She wasn't arrested, she wasn't taken away, but I don't know if she was actually a citizen of the United States. But he just told her to get a regular license and not to drive, and we drove off, and we didn't go back to see if she drove off by herself. But the main thing is that with that cooperative, we're not some type of as the news media or some of the other people say, Gestapo. That's not at all. I think that it escalated in Minnesota because we had heard from the president, and I think rightly true, over the previous 4 years with the amount of people coming in unvetted, and I'm not even thinking about Laos, I'm thinking more from Mexico, Central America, South America, China, I mean, African nations, they all came pouring in unvetted. And I think some of them had severe criminal records. I do agree that the president and the immigration officers should go after those individuals and deport them. But I do hope that the federal government can actually sit down and have a comprehensive talk about the immigration issue. We have so many great workers in the state that are working on our dairy farms, working in agriculture, working in hospitality, that maybe their only crime, and this doesn't account you folks at all, but I'm thinking more of the others that have come and their only crime is coming in illegally. And somehow the federal government has to vet them and take the shadow of being thrown out right away, put them on probation. I don't know what the final solution is, but something that we don't have this chaos as we have now. And in the meantime, just keep our borders secure enough where people that want to enter and come in, especially those that want to work, can be vetted, we know who they are, and then come on in and get that job and work. So there's things that we can do federally that will make this a better nation. But in the meantime, I really think, and I'll be a strong advocate for all the Hmong. If anything comes in, like the others have said as well, my phone, just tell Nashul or get a hold of me, and I will come out, and if there's some type of chaos or trouble, just let me know, and I'll come out and definitely defend and uphold your rights as I consider U.S. citizens, because what your sacrifice did way back in the 60s and 70s in helping America. So know that I have your back, and I look forward to telling your friends that I look forward to seeing you more and more. So thank you. Isaac?
Thank you, Pat. Thank you. Thank you, Pat. We like that. We can count on you to come and defend us if something, protect our rights. Thank you very much, Pat. Nếu hai tia gặp bé xế lo thế, thế ya bé bỏ nhỏ hậu TV lo, YouTube lo, Facebook lo, không một đứa khỏi những trong bộ tỷ diện, là mua con đến chúa ta là ya, tôi chỉ mua tranh là chỉ đi mua qua有几大了，还差好争点了呢，就一夜如果还gặp bé 休息的情況咯，我都冇見到過個bé寫咯， Thank you, Pat. Next up, we'd like to invite our state senator. We also consider him a friend. Please welcome Corey Tomczyk.
My fellow Americans, I've never started a speech like that before, but I want to reinforce you are Americans. And this group, maybe more than many others, understands what that means and the value that is. For you are Americans, you are part of our country, you are a valued part of our country, you're a valued part of our community. You heard from many people, like go last, I don't want to repeat a bunch of stuff, but you, in Marathon County, you have a very honorable man in Sheriff Billum. He is not going to let things get crazy in our county. And if you're from somewhere else, establish a relationship with your law enforcement community. Be talking to them. You know, I cringe when I hear people say they're scared of ICE just because they may look different than the rest of us. Well, we all look different. Some of us are rounder than others. Some of us are skinny, some of us are tall, some of us have different ethnicities. But we're all Americans, and that's what gives our country strength. I will be there for you should anything come about. But if you're an American, you've got to do some pretty bad stuff to be thrown out of this country. If you're not an American, and you're not following the laws of this country, well, then you're doing some pretty dumb things because you can get thrown out of this country. I don't think any of you want your families endangered by people who are not willing to follow the laws and respect other human beings and take care of our communities. Anybody want that? I don't think so. I sure as hell don't want that. But I do want people who are here to help each other, to help grow our country, to help grow our community, to help protect one another, just as you did for your families so many years ago.
Tony.
Oh, Tony's here. Good, Tony, you get to go last. So please, if you hear someone talking about this type of stuff, make sure that they're not just following social media. My grandchildren, my children, they think that's the real world, and it's really not. Ground them, tell them what's going on, give them the right information, calm them down. I can tell you that no one up here, nobody in this speaking panel, wants to see the chaos that erupted in Minnesota. That's just crazy town. There's no way in my lifetime I'm going to let Wisconsin become Minnesota. That's not what our families want. That's not what our community needs. We need each other. We need to take care of each other, which is what the Hmong community does very well. So, thank you for allowing me to be here today. As before, our doors are open. Our phones are available. You know, now Shua sure knows how to get a hold of us. So, we're here for you. We welcome you, and we're glad you're part of our country. Thank you.
Thank you, Corey. Thank you for the reassurance that as Americans, as citizens, there is nothing to fear. Bây giờ nên mình cả lại, chỉ có bây giờ chạy là nè, Corey hay nè. Bây giờ nên mình cả lại, bây giờ chạy. Cho nên chúng ta đâu muốn tới thế, cho nên chỉ citizen là gì, thế giờ nó có thể giảm sâu rồi đó. Cho nó mà cho chỉ nên chạy hả? Chỉ giờ nó có thể giảm cái sâu rồi gì, bây giờ nên mình cả, bây giờ chúng bông cho nó được thế. Thì nó chỉ rồi chỉ giờ lên tới, thì bây giờ họ nên mình cả, bây giờ citizen là gì, có bây giờ chơi bây giờ chạy. Mà nó chỉ là lúc họ trong những clip plot nó bây giờ nè. So, thank you, Corey. Next up, and our last speaker this morning, it looks like he just arrived into the room. Please welcome the Hispanic interpreter in our area, Tony Gonzalez.
Well, good morning, everybody. My apologies for being late, but I did have a prior in Green Bay. Well, I wasn't expecting to talk, but I assume we're talking about 287 and the concerns that you may have and the Hispanic community has. I am very familiar with the program, but I think more than being familiar with the program with 287, I am familiar with our sheriff. I've known him for many years. I make it a point that our community has a good relationship with local law enforcement. I don't know if we're interpreting or... the trust that has been built through the years has been very important. These are very difficult times for our community too. I always, when I arrived to Wausau 14 years ago and met the Hmong community, I always thought that there was so much to learn from your community for our newer community coming in, of things that did happen and things that didn't happen. My partner is from Wausau. She's been here her whole life, so I hear the stories. But I guess if I'm going to talk about it, something is that we have a very good, secure community. Our law enforcement has done a great job, and I'm at the court every Monday and everything. There is no issues about because somebody's from Mexico, from Laos or anything. Everybody gets treated very well. I can attest to that, and there has been no issues, no problems, no profiling. We will never have a situation like happened in Minnesota if people understand that the things that are being done here are for our community security. And that means my very own community that I know is here undocumented. They need to be able to still report crimes and things that happen to them. And so long as they don't have any issues, any problems, and don't end up in jail, nothing is going to really affect them until hopefully one day we get this immigration situation better for them and we can all share better with the community. So I thank Yeshua for inviting me. I wasn't really expecting to talk, but I do talk about the subject quite often. And we have legislators that I trust, legislators who I've met from long time ago. Pat Snyder, he was in Sean Duffy's office, Corey before he was a senator, our mayor and everything, and we have great relationships and I trust them. And we have been able to come to very good things for our community because of the understanding and communication and relationship we have. So I am honored to be next to them talking and everything, and just amazingly honored to be in front of you. I too am a veteran, United States Air Force. Thank you for your service, every which one of you, especially in the times that you did. But if I could say something is we have good people in our leadership and we can trust them and follow their guidance and work together with them. So thank you very much, honored to be here. Thank you.
Thank you, Tony. Thank you very much. Bây giờ trong phố đó này cho cô tôi là bây giờ tôi nó nên mua lúa chỉ nông là gì, giờ này nông lúa kỹ là này lò sò nông là tao mà, này chỉ lò sò nông sử dụng lúa kỹ, ở giờ này thì chỉ bảo nông hay là mong là chỉ có mà họ nông, cũng mà nông là mua lúa kỹ nông là nè.
Cháu trâu tới mày lấy sao mà đó, sao có lấy một sao mà trâu lúc tới chờ lấy tua thế này, tôi khó giờ sao cho mong một tí là gì. Mong là chỉ bao lùn bao thì em mua chọn mong nhau tiêu chung thì giờ mua xa tụi trâu xa này thì xăm trâu lúc tới trường bao sư còn là ngủ thì lấy mong ba lần.
This individual, his name is Kong Cheng from Green Bay. It's more of a suggestion. Maybe it's more of a suggestion, but maybe you can add some input to it too as leaders. He's saying that he's hearing where they're detaining or arresting Hmong people, and the Hmong people are from Laos. And then he's hearing they're being deported to other countries and not Laos. So, if non-documented Hmong people get arrested or are in deportation removal proceedings, can something be done, or can you advocate to our federal top officials that please, wherever country they're from, send them to that country, because that's a better fit for them.
I would just say that I think it's important that the clan leaders really take accounting of their clan and find out who could possibly be here that is not a documented citizen. Someone who hasn't become a naturalized citizen, someone who's maybe here on a green card or something like that. Because if you are an American citizen, as I said before, you got to do some pretty bad stuff to be thrown out of the country. If you're an undocumented person here in the United States and you break laws, yes, you can be taken out. And so I think I've never heard of this. And of course, I don't operate in Green Bay very much, but I'm shocked to hear that anybody of the Hmong community would be arrested and taken out of the country, because I thought that you're very, very well organized and people naturalized and got them all through the right paperwork. And just to comment on the second suggestion is, not that I ever interact with the police department on the highways or anything, but the first thing I always do if a police officer wants to talk to me is I have my license ready, because they want to know who you are. They don't, they may never have seen you before, but if here's my license, this is who I am. That tells the police officer right away, you're not combative, you're cooperating, you want to understand why he wants to talk to you. And like every human being, anybody of you interact with someone, if someone's trying to hide something, you can sense that, you can kind of figure that out. We learn that as soon as we have little kids in our house, right? If they're trying to get away with something, mom and dad usually can figure that out. And it's no different with adults. So I'm never scared to talk to a police officer because I'm not breaking the laws. I'm just an average citizen living my life, taking care of my family, and obeying the laws of the state and country that I'm in. I travel abroad quite often, at least once a year. I make damn sure I'm following the laws of that country. I don't want to get thrown out before my vacation gets over. So law enforcement is not your enemy by any means. Law enforcement is there to protect you and your family, and we should always cooperate with them, communicate with them, and that makes a lot of problems disappear.
Nếu cô hai đi bắt ta nữa lo sợ nó hay thế này rồi. Bây giờ nên bị cả, chỉ biết cho chờ để biết cho chạy thia. Nữa thì đã có một bỏ rồi này cho thôi cho thế à. Nhiều tàu xua nhiều ban này, nói à, ba bờ này. Ôi đi chọn món nón tới lên từ cho chúng món nón tới lên từ nữa. Ê cho chúng món nón tới này, lập cũng một cái sầu nữa. Giờ nó một cái sầu thế là mà, còn nó ý khó, thế rồi giờ chất xanh như gì nữa. Họ nhớ là giờ dùng món nón tới giờ này sản sai chúng một cái sầu về, cần dùng chọn tiền chạy thế. Thế đừng có hãy lo thì giờ tôi chuyện xử law enforcement, tấm đồ tuân trí này nè. Dù hay rồi rong thế, rồi rong chứ. Luật sản báo yếu lên từ rồi, dù thọ kỳ là lại xem để của yếu tụ nọ. Mua chỉ thả tàu. Giờ có ổ đi nọ thì, thế rồi tôi chuyện xử yếu ý nhiều giả cao lô là ổ rong. Hay giờ có bên xem nè, có bên chỉ bố lô, có bên hay có ý cho chạy tua lô thì khó nó khó thế rồi một tấm mẹ nó. Thì nó chết là nó biết sự đần.
I just wanted to say something about,
Go ahead, Tony.
You had mentioned about deportations to third countries. A federal court in Boston just February 25th declared that those deportations were illegal. The decision is held for 15 days to see if the federal government is going to appeal. But I guess it is going through a process right now so they can deport people to third countries. So I wanted to mention that. And the other thing, with a good number of the Hispanic community that do not have a driver's license and cannot obtain one. That's exactly the thing I always tell them and talk to them to do. Just, if they're stopping you for a traffic stop, just stop, turn your vehicle off, and follow the officers' instructions, and it happens quite often. And I think for the vast majority of the times, people behave well, and they go back home. They have somebody drive them that has a driver's license, come and pick them up or anything. And I deal with a large number of Hispanics, and more so in Abbotsford. As long as they go with everything, their ticket, and that's it, they go back home.
Thank you, Tony.
Thank you, Tony. Tony cũng hay là thì hai chân cho nên là sao một đôi lúc tết cho này vậy, là chỉ sao một lúc tết cho cái yêu lo là chị, ta tỏ họ ít federal judge na nhiều hai thì uli nó chỉ tàu thế này, thì chỉ tới ít judge hai đến tới chỉ tới rồi lấy số thế nào, chỉ lấy số tiền sẽ họ nói nhiều bông từ nè,แต่สิ่งcũng hay là thì nhớ lên nửa ba nên nửa lúc community nhá họ về tận county là chị tầm luôn tệ là nếu hai đâu lời có cho rong sư luôn nông gió bên lòอยู่rong chị tổ cơ lối đã hát trò một chế xin nè chị họ nói thì hay là thì bé G tầm luôn law enforcement là bé rong thế sự.
Ok, tôi nói với tôi phong yêu người nhỏ cho họ hoàn thành khảo nghiệm hoàn thế, em sẽ được cho Mexico nè, thì cho công ty nào cho nào chứ nó,แต่เชื่อแล้วถอดมันไม่เคยจ้องมันจะสนุกมากเลยโหยคุยกับกองเท่านั้นเราจะกันตัวเจ้าเราเนี่ยบริจาคที่สิสาเด็กเลยนี่ยังนี่หาเนี่ยเท่าเขาจะเขียนเก็บไปต่อกองไป corporate เราจะ law enforcement พลยาที่ยังได้แจ้งเราจะreassurance ที่อย่างจะตัวใจอย่าไป legal ที่ไปต่อมั่วไปเรียน drive แล้วเซ็นอะไรเชื่อที่ยิ่งที่มันต้องมันเราอยากที่นี่ชีวิตนี้เราเขียนแล้วสินี่จะเขียนขอที่เราเรียนที่นี่สอนยังคนนี้เขาชี้จงอย่างนี้จะเราเชื่อเราเถอะโอเค
โอเคอุทาก็มาใส่ดูตัวกูเขาว่าคอนเซิร์นนะโอเคเถอะไปยังเป้าให้เดี๋ยวจะอ้ายสิเราจะตัวที่รัฐบาลตัวนะเดี๋ยว federal employee ก็เสียขอที่ในพังชาย那么就ขอให้เกิดตัวเล็กที่ปอที่พันหล่อเจ้าว่า police law enforcement นะมาตัวตัวหรือตัวมาเรายังขึ้นใจมัวเราลุ้นเบ่งนั่นแต่เราหน้าเฉาเราจะน้ำเปื้อนแต่เราไปจะเราอยากตั้งตื่นแล้วตัวชี้ก็มาเรายังเอาเป็นหลีนะก็สิจะไอ้นะตัวเอาตัวเนี่ยที่ไปแสงตัวเฉาล้างใช้ตัวที่เฉาเราจะเล่นใช้นะมาวีแล้วตัวเราจะเล่นบอลจีมัวเขาคอเลยจะไปจนหนึ่งไปต่อโต้หยอกเกแต่จนเราอยากไล่เหลือจุดเราอยากจะแล้ววัวนี่จนหนึ่งโรงเรียนเราอยากวันดูวันชี้เราจะจนหนึ่งจะเล่นใช่
All right, the question along with some recommendations.
All right.
I'm just gonna
check.
So I'll just get to the questions here. He asked the questions within some recommendations. Is the concern is mass agents and the capture of U.S. citizens, whether intentional or mistaken. Any rules or regulations or laws in our area here or Wisconsin that prevents mass agents, agents to having masks on, and also any rules or regulations that can prevent the capture of U.S. citizens, whether that's a mistake or not.
Well, there are no Wisconsin or Marathon County local laws that prohibit someone from wearing a mask. If it's a member of a task force or an arrest team, but I will tell you that I'm sitting here before you today, I'm not wearing a mask. When you see my deputies out on the road, they will not be wearing a mask. Now, if it's blowing cold and the weather dictates it, they may wear a mask at that point. But they will not, as a general rule, your local law enforcement will not wear a mask. We have no control over whether or not a federal agent wears a mask. That is dictated by federal policy,
There is no federal law that I'm aware of, and any state that enacts a law that tries to limit that is likely not going to have any success in enforcing it. So I will tell you that if you see local law enforcement wearing masks, it's usually for a reason. It may be a member of a SWAT team or some other group, but it would be incredibly rare to see that here in Marathon County. Or if you're not from Marathon County, I would say with any of your local law enforcement. I heard someone from Green Bay, you're not going to see masked officers in Green Bay with their local police department. And then, what was the other question? I'm sorry, Isaac.
The capture of U.S. citizens by mistake or intentionally by ICE agents.
And again, that's federal law, and those are federal agents, and there's due process. So what would happen is if somebody who was identified as someone that they were investigating, and through the process they learned that they were a U.S. citizen, that would likely go through a court process to figure out whether or not the person should be released or if there's other crimes that they need to be considered. What I can tell you, I'll give you an example, is last year at the Marathon County Jail, we had an individual who was of Hmong descent or Laotian descent, and they were actually identified in our jail, and ICE said, hey, we want that person to come have a meeting with us so that we can look further into it. That person was given a date for a meeting. They went to the meeting, and the reason that I know everything worked out is because they've been arrested multiple times since, and they keep coming to our jail. So they're still here. So I think that the question you have really is framed by federal law and not by your local law enforcement. So that's really where you would have to ask those questions or look at it.
And I just, like Sheriff Billups said, and I have to talk to my community a lot about, is that, we have federal and state law. So, no control of federal law right here with anybody that's here actually, because they're all state. But one thing that is important, like a report came out just yesterday, the Wausau Pilot and Review, talking about a couple of other counties in Wisconsin adopting 287G, and how now the language is very vague on the article, and it makes people believe that local law enforcement can now go and arrest people and take them on an immigration. And that is not true unless they had the task force model, right, Sheriff? The model that exists in Marathon County right now, the jailhouse model, and if the other ones that most of the counties have, which is the service warrant officer model, it only takes effect in the jail. Our officers do not go out on the streets and perform any immigration duties unless something extraordinary. But so our law enforcement officers, they don't have masks or anything, but the main thing is that local law enforcement does not, right now, as it is, have any power to enforce immigration law out on our streets.
Okay, you want to translate first?
Go ahead. No, after your response.
I just want to say, when I looked at, Minnesota and other areas where the ICE agents were wearing masks, social media and I guess you could say organized resistance against ICE kind of play dirty. If there's faces and they recognize them, they'll out these people to have them go to the houses of these folks, intimidate their children, their wives, and really make their lives miserable. Cartels will actually come and kill them possibly. So that's one reason why they wear masks. I think the best thing we can do is if somebody, like what Sheriff Billups does, if someone is arrested and they have a detainer, an ICE detainer, let them know, and ICE comes and meets them at the jail, and there might be only 1 or 2 agents and they're not wearing masks because it's there at the jail. It's not going into the community. Some of these communities, like Minneapolis, really didn't want to work with ICE at all. And when somebody served time in a jail for a crime that were not citizens, instead of notifying ICE that they were being released from jail, they just released them. And unfortunately, a lot of times they recommitted another crime. All ICE is asking is when they do their time in jail to be able to be picked up and deported for that if they're not citizens. And the same thing with someone that they pick up for child molesting, sex trafficking, drug trafficking. And if they're not from this country, they're in jail for that. Let ICE know. Those are the folks I think all communities want out of their community, be it if they're citizens in jail, if not, maybe deported. But I think that's the reason why a lot of times they wear the mask, because these folks are getting right up in their faces, taking pictures and then spreading it out, trying to intimidate them by attacking their families and family members. So thanks.
Thank you, Pat.
Thank you, Pat. Rồi là lụt tế nè, hai chọn de cho ICE agent nó lông trên mua này ya. Họ Wisconsin nó thì ní chỉ mới cho chạy à, yếu chữ chỉ bù lỡ lông nè, lỡ mua chạy lông nó, ICE lỡ mua chạy lông, lỡ cho họ nó là ý mua chạy lông thế nè, thì sĩ nhau về thằng County nó thì cho tầm độ họ nó thứ hai ý lọ đồ Green Bay thế, lỡ yếu chỉ lông. Rồi họ lấy bao thì lông là gì, dùng một tấm mệnh là sử dụng ô tô tu nên muốn đây là ô tô dây dò sát giờ rồi là và sai stop hành này ya, chỉ lấy yếu chỉ lông,แต่chỉ lấy cho federal agents tua lấy lông là gì còn nó họ cho sheriff thế lấy giữ chỉ tàu nữa, lấy những một trái lông hả, ít chỉ còn đó là hai chỉ còn lông nè, ô tô một hai chỉ còn để với cho citizen á. Yo chuẩn đề yo kế yo citizen á nó chỉ mua chai nữa mà, để xin đề mua nó chỉ mà kế sao, lúc xưa đó cái yo tháo nó tới rồi yo chỉ mua chai mua nữa, chỉ lên đề mua, lên mà xua thì tụi này nhớ lên từ, ô tụi cái yo xa luôn nó chỉ mà cho là sức, chỉ khó nó là lấy những yo biết giữ để ba chỉ đầu thế, để xin nhớ là tận là federal, họ nhớ đâu hậu sẽ hậu rõ nó là nó chỉ cho police cho họ sẽ họ rõ nó là chỉ là cứ cho走，如果说这样的，如果只能嘛哇，但是个人家家的能摸着chạy呢呀，一张嘛要 federal 呢，一张嘛要 state 啊，叫好那的了我的这 state 在chạy是，好 federal 呢就了我的这 federal 在chạy，就叫 ICE 那了多了为家呢就有些的了我有了些了干里啊。แต่สิจิมวยจะจ่ายอยู่คงโตเลยเดี๋ยวขอลงจิมัวที่จิมวยจะจ่ายอยู่คงโตเลยเดี๋ยวจีเราโตหลังปุ๊บเดี๋ยวตรงไหนเนาะซื้อวันเดี๋ยวไหนอ่ะเดี๋ยวมาซื้อนั่นเลยเดี๋ยวเลยเดี๋ยวนิดหน่อยเลยเดี๋ยวให้รอเดี๋ยวยี่ห้อคนคันเซนุเชอร์เดี๋ยวสิทอกับเชอร์ฮอยังก็ยังในสังสารเลยก็จะอันชายได้หน่อก็จะอันชายได้หน่อเที่ยง
我觉得别人就直接碰就有错多那都晒蒙城市的路เขาสื่อมูเขาว่าจะลูกกงเขาเหล่ามงยันตัวเขาลูกจงบโซแล้วก็ตัวเจ้าลูกประสวนชิดทาจะจะกี่ที่ไทยหลอนเดือดจะตู้จังสื่อไอ้ยาเดี๋ยวตัวเขาเลยเจเลยจอดอะไรยันบ้านเลยเจ้าเราจอดเจอเขาเนาะแล้วคือกินเที่ยเท่ากับเป็นยังไงจะเสียพุ่งจะยืดชัวตัวจนชิดจะเกี่ยนักการยังจง